I'm going to talk about, this is going to be a short one. So I saw an article about Olivia Jackson. I did not know who Olivia Jackson was until I read it. Um, so Olivia Jackson, beautiful woman. I think her natural hair color is brunette. Yet I think she has a dyed blonde. She's a stunt woman and an actress. She started out in the Burma Conspiracy. I'm not sure if that's a movie or television show. Then she did Guardians of the Galaxy. She did Mad Max Fury Road, I think, for Charlize Theron's stunt double. She was Gwyneth Paltrow's stunt double. Uh, she was also in the Judge Dredd 2012 movie, and then she was in, let's see, Guardians of the Galaxy. She did Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and she did, her last movie was the final chapter Resident Evil, which is what is prompting me to be here right now. So she's filed a lawsuit. I'm not sure if this is recently, but she's filed a lawsuit. I think it was early as February, but I didn't see this article until now, which is shameful of me. I should have seen this article. Um, Against the Road Accident Fund. So it's 40 million R. I'm not sure. I think that's the denomination of the country. I guess for foreign country. So Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. I think this was like the last movie Mila Jovovich was in. She is the stunt. She was the stunt double for Mila Jovovich. I guess it's number one, Alice number one. So I guess she was the first. Like she's the top Alice stunt double in that movie. So in this stunt, when you go onto imdb.com and you look up Resident Evil: The Final Chapter, you'll see Alice on a motorcycle, or Mila's character, which is a cold reminder of what's happened here. Okay, so the stunt is that in the storyboarding and the planning, basically Olivia Jackson is the double, and she's on a motorcycle. She's been riding motorcycles. She had been riding cycles for years, and she is supposed to. So, if let me kind of get my head out of the way here. So basically, you would see Mila Jovovich on a motorcycle. Now, next to the motorcycle is a car with a crane with a camera mounted to it, right, right in front of it. So the car is here, and it comes towards the motorcycle. As the motorcycle is coming this way, the car is coming from the other side. So here's the camera. The camera. Pretend this camera that the video you're watching now. You're in that car, and you're watching this from a crane. Now, what's supposed to happen is the car is supposed to slow down or move out of the way. Or no, actually, what's supposed to happen is the camera is supposed to lift. The crane is supposed to lift, just as this person's. So instead of coming like this, right, the camera comes up and above. So here's the motorcycle coming up this way, coming towards, and then the camera, the arm of the crane lifts over the person's head, over Olivia's head or Alice's head, doubling for Mila Jovovich, right? So that's not what happened. So it was raining that day of shooting, and it went boom. It just went right into Olivia, permanently injuring her. She lost her. I think it was her. I think she lost her right finger, one of her fingers, punctured her lung, damaged her head. She suffered extreme like brain and head damage, facial damage, and she lost most notably her left arm, as you see in her Instagram. Her Instagram is Olivia, um, what is it, underscore stunts. So give a shout out to her. I will be. Um, so that's what happened. So Olivia she got injured by the crane. The crane, from this angle, the crane hits her and knocks her off completely, and she suffered all these injuries. So she's suing for a lot of money. I'm not sure how much in U.S. dollars, but it's a lot of money. Um, she has suffered pain, extreme pain in her back and her spine, because she had to fall hard on the concrete. It's almost like, if you look at Melissa Jin and her stunt reel when she played the Queen Speedy. She was on a van, and she hits a balsa wall, and then she falls hard on the concrete. That's sort of like that, but this was not planned. That crane is hitting at a high speed. It's like hitting, I don't know, it's like getting kicked by 3 horses or 4 horses, like as you're coming towards them. That's what it's like. And she was out. So she had a lot of medical bills, hospital bills. The road accident fund probably did not, my speculation, this is my speculation right now, they probably did not give her enough money to take care of her. They gave her empty promises. And so that's why she's suing. From what the defense says, the camera operator, the one who drove the car, he could not determine the severity of the rain, and that all she had to do was slow down the motorcycle and stop to avoid the accident. But this is her damn job. This is what she's supposed to do, right? And yeah, of course, if something was too dangerous, some stunt people have enough sense to stop the stunt and not do it. But this is this is happening. Stunts happen in a matter of seconds. As anybody knows, you're going towards you're going towards another thing. You're going towards another object. Okay, these are 2 objects coming toward each other. But the car, I think, was supposed to no. Let me back this up a bit. I don't want to get this wrong. From a top-down point of view, okay. So here's the motorcycle on a top-down, and the car, I believe, is gonna run parallel to Olivia, but the crane is at an angle, like at an angle that would meet the motorcycle. So even though the car is parallel to the motorcycle, the crane is not, so that it can get sort of an angular shot of Alice coming towards the camera, and then the crane would lift up and go over her head, and that's not what happened. The guy almost admitted incompetence, but obviously would not, because I think the case is still going on. So she can't talk about it. The guy who drove the camera can't talk about it. But let me say this: it's fucking bullshit. If you think you can get away with not covering all of her medical expenses, there's a lot of pain and suffering. I mean, pain and suffering is a legitimate case to argue for, and you know, when you have a punctured lung and you lose a finger and you lose an arm and you have brain damage and face damage, and she had to reconstruct her face. I mean, she's in pain. I mean, that was hard. That's probably why I will never do stunts. I have been giving thanks to every stunt double. Olivia, this is I'm talking to you. And some of the people here. I have been giving thanks to all the stunt people every day since January 1st as a New Year's resolution to say thank you for all the work you've all been doing. I would like you, Olivia, I would like your analytical, I mean, obviously it was a tragedy what happened to Joy Harris from Deadpool 2. There's nobody was going to say, oh, she deserved it. No, nobody's going to say that. But what is your analytical, intellectual, what is from your expertise, what do you think was the cause? Without having to name names or get anybody in trouble, what do you think happened as far as Joy Harris's death? Because, I mean, she was also on a motorcycle, but she's dead. And you survived. So maybe you could give me your take on that if you have the time, if you're able to. Just seeing these motorcycle deaths, it's ridiculous, you know. One other thing I would say to you, Olivia, is that don't give up being an actress, you know. What's happened to you would get the attention of a lot of people, okay? Yes, there are some women who are suing professional movie companies because of women versus men wearing wigs for women actresses. Well, we'll see what happens with that. But what happened to you was unique. And while some people say, well, you're doing a dangerous stunt, how could you really even remotely entertain the idea of riding a motorcycle that fast in the rain? Somebody's got to do this. You can't do it all CGI. To do everything in CGI would rob the audience of feeling the impact of something. Even there was another stunt woman, I don't remember her name. She doubled for Claire Foy's character in The Girl in the Spider's Web. And I think she was riding a motorcycle on ice. on ice, and this was like this movie came out a few weeks ago, and that was an even more dangerous stunt. So everybody, when you're on motorcycles, it's really hard. So, um, and luckily that scene was shot from a crane camera, like maybe 100 feet away at most, and and she's going off somewhere. So it's now wasn't even an issue. It was just being on the ice, and being on the road. Every When you're doing a stunt, all the clocks, all the gear, I mean, all the gears and the cogs and the springs and the coils and all the turning cogs and everything, it has to work like a clock. It has to be clockwork, literally, because you're putting yourself out there, and everybody who is swearing on their genitalia and their mama to get this correct, or somebody's going to get seriously hurt. I mean, John Bernecker, Joy Harris, people who have died, and you got seriously. But here's the thing: I don't think you should give up show business, even if you just end up doing acting or directing. Just find your creativity, because you have a lot of fans who are looking out for you. They're looking up to you. Um, I felt I needed to do a video about this because I didn't hear about you until I saw an article, and I'm always checking the articles. Maybe your article came out on page 6 or 7. I check usually the first 3 pages of the news. That's my fault. But I am looking, and I am, checking everything now. Um, if it's news like Ben Affleck playing basketball with his stunt double, well, I'll just tweet it. It's not a big deal, but it's something interesting. And also, I'm covering previews for the next movies. I think I'll be covering Mortal Engines, and I'll probably catch Spider-Man instead. Um, but there are all kinds of people, there are all kinds of movies, there are all kinds of stunt doubles and stunt performers in movies. Uh, you may see them, you may not, but honor and respect your stunt doubles. And have a great day, and I'll catch you all soon. Thank you, Olivia. And Olivia, don't give up.